Hello, everybody.
Howdy.
We're like on a video marathon today, aren't we?
Yeah. Well, that's what I get for just picking up a book and opening up a page and just starting to read the first paragraph. It's like, oh my God.
It's funny because you thought he was riled about the blood booklet. Rutherford's, one of his rainbow books, Jehovah.
Printed in 1934. Now, I can just hear some Jehovah's Witness right now saying, oh, that's old light. It's a good thing we don't believe that way no more.
Oh, yeah, it's a good thing you don't believe this anymore.
Yeah, but here's the absolute truth, Jehovah's Witnesses. If you did not believe what Rutherford was writing in these books in 1934, you were considered as part of the evil slave.
And kicked out.
Yeah, exactly. So whether this is old knowledge or not is irrelevant, because if you did not believe it, you were kicked out. You were classified as part of the evil slave. So I just so happened to open the book and went to page 117 under the subheading, Who May Celebrate the Feast. Oh yeah, it's that ridiculous.
Yeah.
Now this is what Rutherford writes. It is not for any man or organization of men to determine what individuals may or may not publicly celebrate the Lord's Supper. Wow! But now the organization says, if you don't have the heavenly calling, and if you partake, then you are partaking unworthily. So an organization today does tell men who may or may not participate in the Lord's Supper. He goes on, it is proper, however, to here call attention to the significance of the things pertaining thereto, and let each one assume the responsibilities for his actions. Well, that's actually a true statement.
Yep.
But yet, Watchtower doesn't let you assume responsibility for your actions now, do they?
Oh,
if
no.
you participate and you're not one of the consecrated ones, you are participating unworthily.
Did we happen to mention this was on page 117?
Yes,
I don't
I did.
remember. Okay.
Without a doubt, many partake of the memorial emblems without any conception of what they mean. We are now in the day of Jehovah, when the plagues are being anti-typically fulfilled upon the world. The celebration of the memorial now means much more than it did prior to the coming of the Lord to the temple in 1918. Those who now properly partake of or celebrate the Lord's Supper as a memorial to the name of Jehovah must have an active personal, wait a minute. Those who now properly partake of or celebrate the Lord's Supper as a memorial to the name of Jehovah?
I thought it was about Christ.
I thought the memorial was all about Christ. Christ said, keep doing this in remembrance of me, Jesus Christ. But Rutherford, in his infinite wisdom, says, those who now properly partake of or celebrate the Lord's Supper as a memorial to the name of Jehovah must have trust me, it gets a little better. Must have an active personal part in the performance of the 10 antitypical plagues upon antitypical Egypt. That is Satan's organization. Antitypical plagues that went upon antitypical Egypt that are now taking place. 1934, they were already taking place. What the hell was Rutherford smoking? It obviously wasn't crack, because crack wasn't invented by then. It must have been opium. My goodness.
Well, I heard he did like his whiskey.
He loved his whiskey. He must have been on a heavy drunk when he wrote this crap. So then he goes on to say, by that is meant that each one must participate in proclaiming the message of God in connection with these plagues. The plagues are now in operation, advancing to the great climax of destruction of Satan's firstborn at Armageddon.
What the hell?
Who the hell is Satan's firstborn, Russell? Rutherford? My God, the Bible doesn't even talk about the firstborn of Satan, but yet you, in this drunken stupor, says the plagues are now in operation, advancing to the great climax of destruction of Satan's firstborn at Armageddon. My God! But wait a minute now. It's a good thing that we don't believe this no more. But like I said, if you were a Jehovah's Witness back then and you didn't believe it, you were part of the evil slave. So, to partake. What?
I'd like to know who or what is Satan's firstborn.
Well, so would I. So you know what? Maybe this is just a good point to interject our next thought before I go on reading. So now, all of us in the XJW community would love to ask Watchtower, who was Rutherford referring to when he said Satan's firstborn at Armageddon? How do we possibly ever come to find that out? Oh, I know. The Revelation book, Grand Climax at Hand, page
125.
125.
Under the scripture, Revelation 7:13 and 14a, this is their commentary. Yes, that elder could locate the answer and give it to John. This suggests that resurrected ones of the 24 elders group may be involved in the communicating of divine truths today. For their part, those of the John class on earth got to learn the identity of the great crowd by closely observing what Jehovah was performing in their midst. So, if this 144,000 are communicating divine truths today,
so
Anthony Morris,
please communicate with Rutherford and find out who the hell Satan's firstborn is. Because the scriptures are completely silent on Satan having a firstborn. But yet, Rutherford, hey, he's part of the 144,000. According to what you printed here in Revelation, they are communicating divine truths today. I want to know this divine truth. Come on! Do you people see how idiotic this religion is? My goodness. Jesus, Mary and Joseph. So I'm going to go down to the next paragraph on page 118. Because this, if you are of the 144,000, this is Rutherford's prediction to what's going to happen to you. This is a prediction from Rutherford. Pay attention, those of the 144,000.
Well, it would also pertain to the governing body.
Oh, absolutely. It says, Jehovah gave to Jesus the privilege and honor of being his vindicator at the cost of his human life. All who are with him in that vindication must likewise die sacrificially. That's what he says.
I know, I can see it.
As Jesus did. Faithful until the end. Oh my God, if I was one of the anointed of Jehovah's Witnesses, I wouldn't want to admit that, because now, according to Rutherford's prediction, you're going to die a sacrificial death, just like Jesus Christ did. Utter nonsense. Now do you see why I mock this bullshit, Kim?
I see why you get so riled.
My goodness, this level of stupidity, and to think that level of stupidity was alive and well during the 20th century.
Yeah. Well, it makes me think too, getting all serious here now instead of laughing. But in all seriousness, you think about this. Okay, so this is what this organization was based on. This was truth back in 1934.
This is the foundation.
This was not old light back in 1934. you know. So those who came and studied and came in the truth afterwards, you know, this is what you were taught. This is what you believed. You know, those of that generation, this is what they believed.
Yeah. They will die a sacrificial death.
So we will probably have some more gems from this book.
I just got to quit picking up this nonsense and just opening a page and start reading because, I mean, my goodness, it's utter ridiculousness.
Yeah. Well, I do know for a fact that there's at least 2 or 3 more people that are going to be sending us some old books. So, guess we better stock up on M&Ms.
We better, because this is just ridiculous.
So, you all have a great weekend.
Thanks for listening to this rant.
Thank you for watching, and welcome to all our new subscribers, and thank you to all our old subscribers, and we love you all.
Bye.